Hello, everyone, and welcome to your reading. For those of you who picked piece number 1 on how to be of service, and I've got my computer here because I'm using my art kind of like as a visual medium for tuning into this information, and that's what I'm asking everyone to do. Also, before I forget, be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you appreciate this video, and hit the notification bell so that you can receive an update every time I send out information. And I also do oracle coaching, and so I would love to work with you that way if you need support and accountability. So jumping into your reading, kind of how I'm going to approach this one is we're asking the questions how to be of service. So this is all about how you can start being more of service in every area of your life. And I'm going to be kind of spontaneous in the way that I do these readings for a little bit. I think for a while I was obsessed with formatting, and that kind of slowed the process. My perfectionism has been one of the most difficult things in my life. All right, but number 1, how to be of service. So we're going to ask the fairy spirits how you can be more of service. Okay, so the first thing that's coming out to me about this, for those of you who picked piece number 1, and the colors are also very similar to the piece 2, just starting out. And it was breaking free, but it was in reverse. So the initial hit that I got on this was that you're in some sort of situation that you need to break free from. And my eyes are being drawn to kind of this dark area. So it's kind of been dark, it's been heavy, it's been dense. And in order for you to be of service, what I'm getting very specifically around this is you need to look at what's going on in your own life, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So Spirit is saying that when you break free from a situation, a home, a job, a living situation, an uncomfortable relationship dynamic, you're going to have more energy to be of service. Also, I'm getting ideas related to codependency coming up here, and I'm using codependency the way psychologists in the recovery movement use it, and it's where we tend to not see and think and feel from our own perspective, but from the perspective of other people. And sometimes we get so used to responding to other people and their emotions and their crises that even when that's not happening or that's not necessary and it's clearly a relationship dynamic that's not serving us, we find people with lots of drama or lots of problems, and we kind of enter into this relationship negotiation that's unspoken and often unconscious, where we are giving and giving and giving, hoping that they will see our needs and meet them. And sometimes just the feeling of the boundaries that we're going to have to set, or saying no, or confronting an issue, and also taking full responsibility for how we've played into it, can keep us stuck in a situation. So they're telling me that you need to break free and not focus on solving anyone else's problems until you're in a better situation, and then you can lead by example. I get a lot of information from very few cards. Okay, let's see. Different deck? Okay. The Goddess deck. Okay. So, being of service. What do you want the people who picked piece number 1? Also, I'm going to be coming out with my own deck soon, so keep your eye open for that. But how can these people be of service? Wisdom. So what's striking about this card to me is that the cat is cuddled up and sleeping. And you can't pour from an empty cup, and there's a reason that the oxygen masks, you're supposed to be putting it on yourself before you put it on anyone else, and you hear that every time you get on a plane. These are old, wise, tried and true wisdom that you need to bring into your life. And also the self-care, taking care of yourself. The pumpkin and the autumn, and so I want to kind of talk a little bit about the specific self-care. And I know this is like how to be of service, but when you can show up to life more energetic, more enthusiastic, happier, you can be more of service. Have you ever met people who really want to be of service, but they're very ornery? Have you ever been that person? I know I have. And they're burnt out and they're all crispy. Yeah, no, you want to be warmed by the flames, not burnt out. You want to be comforted by the passion that you have for people, things, projects, but not burnt out by them. And rest and care and connection. And I'm also just hearing non-transactional connection is like very important for you at this time. And is going to fill up your cup so that you have care and attention and love and warmth and natural affection to give people. But that's going to require that you're breaking free from things that don't make you feel good. Okay, what other deck? Oh, I'm going to use this one. And another thing is, you do have a lot of wisdom, but let your wisdom be lived. I'm going to just clear these really quick. I'm still getting a few more messages from this card. You do have wisdom, but people are going to receive you better and hear you better when you're coming from this comforting, this happy, this settled, nurtured place within yourself. And it's making me think of what they say in Al-Anon, which is a great place to go if you struggle with codependency, or if you find that you are constantly surrounded by people with various addictions, or maybe have had a parent or a situation early on in life where there was addiction or mental illness present in the household, something like that. You may struggle with codependency, and you may want to look into Al-Anon. And one of the things that they teach there is an acronym, HALT. Am I hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? And it just brings my attention to this cat up here. Maybe I'll move these cards so you can see them. But this cat, and it's sleeping, and it's comfortable. And what I'm getting is creature comforts is how you can start to meet some of your own needs and demonstrate self-care. It means like, and I'm hearing that some of you feel selfish when you take care of yourself. Somewhere along the way, you've been told that's selfish by somebody when they want you to do what they want you to do. And it is not selfish. It is, well, yeah, it's selfish, but there's really only one self here. We're all infinitely connected to each other. And if you're not taking care of the one person that you actually have control over, then you're not going to have the energy to bring to other people. So what I'm really, really getting for you is it's about self-care, breaking free from negative people, places, and environments. And then something else related to this is you're overlooking some important details. So perhaps there's something that what I'm getting is that there may be a situation that has details that are overwhelming, or that you don't feel like you are particularly competent in those areas. So you may be looking into caretaking of troubled people and dealing with other problems in a codependent and draining way because you're overlooking some important details that are going on. And so what I'm getting is get support, get somebody to look at these things with you, ask for help, ask questions, ask somebody to just like sit with you and help you think it through or talk it out loud with. And I'm hearing if you don't have that, just get it on paper. But get out of this heavy, thick environment because that can sometimes make it hard to think things through. Make sure you're getting enough sleep too. Don't try to think about this in the evening. Is something I'm getting. Don't try to sort out these details or important aspects of the bigger picture. It's important that you don't overlook these, but it's important that you don't distract yourself either. And look at these details on paper with somebody in the light of day is also coming through so that you can see clearly. I'm kind of getting that they're sort of related, like whatever it is that you're stuck in, it may be related to these details in that they need to be sorted out first, or in order to break free, or you're distracting yourself from these details, something like that. And in order to address these details, and this is also that you can build yourself up to start being of service. I know that this was about how to be of service, but for you, it's really all about self-care and addressing some important details in your life, which may also involve other people. But I'm really getting that by taking care of yourself, thinking through some things, then you have the availability to take care of other people. And then also some things that are going to help you address some of these small details so that you have this available energy are to use both your intuition and your intellect to solve the problem. So don't abandon your gut feelings. They're very, very important, but use your intuition. And then if you don't feel particularly confident or sure of yourself, or perhaps you just feel overwhelmed, use both your intuition and your intellect to solve the problem. So what I get by that is listen for your intuitive hits. Look for those number signs, 111. You know, you're about to manifest something, 222, have the faith, but don't push it. 333, you're surrounded by ascended masters. It's about communication. You're being supported and hearing and receiving clear communication. It's important to see and notice all those intuitive signs, but it's also really important to then take the intuition that you're given and guided with, and then apply it, and then look at the feedback that you're getting in terms of the results. So instead of looking at it as I failed, or oh, this sucks, or I had all these expectations and they didn't work out, it's more of, let me just test it, let's see, and then let's look at what's actually happening and the feedback I'm getting from people involved, employers, relationship partners, friends, whatever, clients, whatever, to see if what we're getting is working on an intuitive level. So have a balance of both the intuitive and the intellectual. But what I'm getting is it's really about implementing some of these solutions and facing these little important pesky details head on, and doing so with love and compassion for yourself also, because you need that in order to be open to your intuition. And then that's going to help you listen, hear, apply. And then when you apply, look and see what feedback you're getting and adjust accordingly. And you may need to practice shape-shifting or altering your physical appearance or mannerisms. to be more confident, to be more competent. When you stand up straight, people perceive you differently. I think it was Amy Cuddy at Princeton did a study or talked about a study in a TED Talk where they had people assume confident body postures, and then people split up into another group who practiced unconfident body postures. And then they had to go before a panel of interviewers, and these interviewers didn't give them any facial expression at all. So it was intended to make them feel really uncomfortable and under pressure. And those that had assumed the positive, empowering, power posing kind of positions, they ended up unanimously being chosen as the person that those interviewers would hire for a business. And they hadn't even seen what postures they were doing. So just by how you hold your body and your mannerisms, the way you present yourself can literally help you become either more intuitive and creative if that's what you need to do, or more logical and analytical if that's what you need to do. And you can kind of toggle between these different things. But if you want to be of service, you need to get out of the situation, embrace earthy wisdom, comforting wisdom, get sleep, lots of self-care. You can't pour from an empty cup. To address whatever these details are, and they can be emotional, financial, paperwork, they can be anything. To get over this, use both your intuition and your intellect to solve the problem, and practice shape-shifting and altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. Okay, everybody, I hope that was helpful. And if you're interested in not only getting guidance, but ongoing support so that you can hear spirit, but then also apply what you get, check out my Oracle coaching. I'd love to work with you. Okay, hi everybody. So for those of you who picked piece number 2, how to be of service, this is your reading. And if you like this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you would like to support the channel, it's very much appreciated if you would buy me a cup of coffee. A link to do so will be in the description. And also, if you are in need of coaching or encouragement, or you're receiving intuitive guidance, but it's just really hard to follow through on it, that's where I would love to help you on your journey. Please check out my Oracle coaching. This way we can tune into your intuitive faculties. You'll walk away with tools and skills that you can use, but also you get accountability to follow through. So let's jump into your reading. I'm kind of using my art as a visual medium, and I'm going to be coming out with my deck here soon, but I'm staring at the image and asking the question, how to be of service, for those of you who picked piece number 2. Okay. So get clear on your intention and stay focused and move quickly to achieve your goal is the first piece of guidance. So sometimes we can kind of lolly around and be unfocused and, kind of back off and distract ourselves. But Spirit's really guiding you to be very clear about what your intentions are. And it says, indulge in your creative imagination and magical side in some form of artistic expression. So what I'm kind of getting for piece number 2 is that perhaps you've got a lot of ideas and you've got a lot of things spinning around. Now is the time to map out, okay, which of these ideas am I going to commit to? I think it was in Big Magic where Elizabeth Gilbert was talking about how she was working on a book and she met up with an author, Ann Patchett, and they had a hug, and somehow, her story went to Anne Patchett. I really do also believe that ideas are kind of like thought forms in various stages of development. And they're sort of like mysterious creatures, these ideas. Some of them, maybe we travel, or maybe they were a part of our destiny. I kind of think of them like entities. And if you don't commit and pursue this artistic gift, then it can kind of go away for a while. So what I'm getting is for you to be of service. It's about expressing your creative side. You have no idea how your story could touch the soul of somebody else exactly where they are, and it be exactly what they needed to hear. Or your song. I mean, we all know that music is medicine. We've all been in a place, a breakup, where we're like crying and singing our songs. So whatever this is, how you be of service is by indulging in your creative imagination in a conscious, healthy way. Because what I'm getting is that if you don't channel this gift of creativity into something, you can start to make up things in your mind and stories in your mind. And if you're this creative person and it's not being productively put to use, you're doing the exact opposite of being of service. You kind of spin in your own imaginary stuff. So how to be of service is to get really clear on some key performance indicators related to a goal. This can be related to a nonprofit. This can be related to a specific business where you're going to tithe a certain percentage of your money. But it needs some form and function, and it needs to be laid out. So what I'm really seeing here is, it's interesting. It's like they're reversed. It's like on the right-hand side, which is usually different. On the right-hand side, it's this imaginary kind of creative thing. So in one way, you're going to need to like solidify, create boundaries, even limits around something. It needs to crystallize in some practical way. And then also on a spiritual level, it's also about being fully invested in the effort and detached from the results. So your creativity needs more structure, but your focus and ambitions need to be held in this appropriate spiritual space. Okay, what other deck am I getting? How to be of service. So, one thing too, kind of going back to what I was seeing before, is that if you don't indulge your creative imagination productively, it will run amok in your life, and you'll make up stories about things or create drama or insecurities. It's what our egos do. It's nothing to feel bad about. But getting some clear goals and focusing and using your art and if you do this in a spirit of service, it gives your life meaning and purpose and focus. And if you don't do it consciously, you still have that gift and that ability. It's just being unproductively used. And it goes into things like complaining or imagining stories of victimhood, or just rewinding old stories that you know, and even just to friends and family complaining. We get in this habit of just like going over it and complaining. And we know that this is not productive. So Spirit is saying to be of service, be really aware of the energy that you're generating, and start affirming over and over that your life is wonderful, that you're happy. Start using affirmations intentionally, and don't tell any stories of what you don't like and what you don't want to anyone anymore. If you're going to tell stories, any kind of story, a story about something that happened, a creative story that you write down, a novel that you're working on, a song, whatever, do it with this abundance mindset. Do it from not focusing on what you don't have and the drama of life, or whatever story that you have, or whatever story somebody's trying to give to you. Maybe somebody in your life is trying to engage you in complaining, or you just kind of get in a habit with somebody. Don't do any of that anymore. Really channel your creative energy, because when you do that, you're going to create something that blesses somebody's life. Also, they're encouraging you to develop an abundance mindset, and to feel abundance now. It's really about, okay, and this is another thing, to really be of service. It's about using your creative gifts in whatever ways. And for many of you, I'm getting that you have many, many different types of talents. You can craft things, you can write things, you've got a huge imagination, maybe you've got some business plans, something. Stories, though. I heard from the guy that started Airbnb that if you're good at writing fiction, you're good at writing business plans. So maybe it's a business plan. And maybe that could really bless somebody. But it's important to think of yourself as abundant, because in that way, you know that you have to give other people, and you see the world as abundant, and you see opportunities everywhere, which can actually be very, very practical. But if you're focused on like telling yourself a story because you haven't intentionally channeled your creativity, you're not going to see all the abundance that's all around you. And then the more you have to share with others. So see and think and feel and speak of yourself as abundant now. And in this present moment, that's what you're going to experience. What I'm getting for you is when you're happy and you're telling yourself the story, whether it's in your relationship about all the good things, how it's been a blessing in your life, about how you're great partners to each other, how you make a great team, how you're excited about this thing that you're moving towards in the future, or you tell yourself, or something is coming very clear for me, and I'm just going to share a story from my own life. I talk to this person every couple years. Every year, I'd say I talk to him once or twice, maybe sometimes every other year. And he travels all over the world, and he's been very successful in certain areas. But I knew this guy, like when he slept alone at home on his parents' couch, and we're just having a talk about different stories, and I was sharing what was going on in my life at the time, and he's like, Candace, it's like I've known you for a long time. And he's like, you tell some of the same stories. He's like, you know this about me. And he shared a story about his early education. He's like, I don't tell anybody that story. I never tell anybody that story. So what I'm getting is, be selective with your stories. Also, if you're working for some sort of charity or fundraising or a conscious investment firm or something, or any business, really any business, this is coming through, but especially for charity, but any business that you could do, a YouTube channel, a real estate group, whatever. People want to know your story. So you're going to need to look into your past for some inspiring stories. And that's going to really bless people's lives. Spirit, what else do you have to say about... okay. Yeah, so maybe there's been a story of heartbreak and sadness that you've been reliving in your own mind, that's going to fog your ability to think. And don't tell that story anymore. You need to let your heart heal. And you're of service when you're embracing your new life. Okay, here's the caveat. If you tell your sad story from an empowering, this is how I overcame it, this is what inspired the product, this is what made this my mission in life story, you can tell your sad story. But your story affects people, all the people that hear it. And that's something that's coming through too. So just being mindful of the stories that you tell around the people in your life can make a big difference, because we go through things together. We're all contributing to the energetic atmosphere in the room. So letting go of the sad story will be a blessing. Okay. And I'm trying to see if I need to pull like another card here. Let's see. And okay, we're good. Sorry about that. And so let's see. Anything else that they need? Yeah, so this is the King of Wands energy is coming through again. So it's about applying energy. And I just keep getting the image of the cheetah when it runs. It expends, physical energy. So be sure that, you're taking care of your energy field so that you have an abundance. What's really being highlighted is energy and physical energy. You can be of service by really think of applying yourself towards these creative goals and getting really clear and staying focused. But it's about taking action. But in order to do that, you need to have enough abundance of that energy. So I'm getting really nutrition. I'm being drawn to the green in this card, like nutrition, meditation, consciousness is the ultimate currency. And just this halo around these heads here, consciousness, meditation, being mindful of your stories is really, really important. And doing, physical exercise, very important. Running, something like that, because then when you show up to be of service, Spirit, can I get a little bit more information about where exactly, like in their life or in the community, or where they might be more of service? So I'm getting the Six of Swords. So for some of you, you might actually help like refugees, or help battered women, or help stray animals go from one negative place to a better place. But this can also be done very metaphorically, like I'm seeing like in some sort of therapeutic setting. Even, just any kind of therapeutic setting where you help people go from one state of mind to a happier, more uplifted one. Because these are the Six of Swords. And swords are about thoughts and about feelings. And we all know that a shift in our feeling is really what's going to precede the shift in our destiny and where we ultimately go. And if we want to know our future, basically, we just need to think about what are the emotions that I'm practicing, and that's what you're going to get more of. So, but what I'm seeing is as you exert energy consciously, you're taking care of your physical body, you're indulging in your creative imagination in a practical way. You have the capacity to help people or animals go from one situation to another in a very real and visible way. But mindset is very, very important to your abundance and to your being of service, so that you aren't giving from this empty cup, and so that other people can observe you in your abundance and learn from your example. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Candace at Eclectic Coach, and thank you for joining my reading, How to Be of Service. And if you enjoyed this reading, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can receive a notification every time I produce new content. And if you would like to support the channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. Or if you are interested in receiving Oracle coaching, that's a great way to stay accountable, to tune into spirit, receive the guidance, use the Oracle cards, which I will be coming up with my own deck here very soon, so stay tuned for that. You tune into the visual language of the Oracle cards, but then it's a package situation for four sessions, so we can come back and we can look at, okay, so you applied this intuition, what's the results that you're getting? Are you happy with this? Where do you need to make some tweaks? And I help you stay accountable and focused. So let's jump right into the reading, How to Be of Service. And I've got them pulled up here, and I'm just tuning into this piece. How can those who chose piece number 3 be of service? Flippers only. Flippers only. I have to flip. So thank you for your patience. Flippers only. No reversals. For piece number 3, how? Piece number 3. Nope. 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 All right, we got 3 cards here. So we've got, all right, so perhaps there was something that required a lot of energy, and I'm seeing a project, a service mission, something that was requiring a lot of energy. It's not dead yet. But yeah, it's like hanging on, but it hasn't died and it hasn't transformed yet. And I don't know what it's related to, but there's some cause, some purpose, some way that you already know to be of service, perhaps something that you're already doing in your community or school or job. And it's taken a lot of energy. But I see it kind of hanging on here. And what you're being guided to do intuitively is to use your ability to manifest. So there's lots of videos online about how to manifest, how to script. But this isn't dead yet. There's still hope in this situation. You're being encouraged to keep going. And to keep working towards this greater vision, even though you may be kind of tired and wanting to maybe give up on this area of service. But some part of it is going to need to die. Maybe not all of it, but you're resisting. There's some parts of this situation that need to be transformed, that need to go away, that you might be resisting a little bit, that you need to clear out so that you can manifest. What I'm getting is fear. Like there's just some sort of fear related to this area, fear of a person, fear of, I don't know. Can we get more information on this reverse tower? And just what's standing out to me is this little scary dude. And some part of it does need to be released. Can I get? Okay, so maybe it's an actual person. I'm not reading it as reversed, but in this particular deck with this guy here, he looks very moody to me. So maybe you need to let go of somebody who's moody. Or I'm hearing energy cords to somebody. And this is where we create these false attachments energetically, usually lining up somewhere in our chakra system. And they kind of, when you look at them in meditation, sometimes they look like chains or tubes, but basically they're energy channels from which you're siphoning and taking energy from each other in the energetic realm. So there's somebody, and it doesn't have to be a male, but a masculine, somebody who's representing the masculine, King of Cups, kind of brooding a little bit, even upright. The King and Queen of Cups sometimes look like they're brooding to me a little bit. So you might need to let that go because that's draining, whatever that is, and focus all of your energy, all of your attention on manifesting, because you can manifest solutions, support. You have all the elements that you need here to manifest, to be of service in this area. But what I'm getting is, think about what you most enjoy giving. And something about teaching. This guy looks like he's teaching her something. So maybe you enjoy teaching in some sort of way. Maybe what I'm getting is you can't really keep what you don't give. So for some of you, you've been through this whole like upheaval, death process. This is like an old story for you. And you've let go of people. And so maybe for a few of you, if this resonates, it's about teaching people how to let go of people, places, and things that no longer serve them, to maybe a younger generation or to somebody who wants to learn. How can they be of service? Spirit. Okay. I'm getting groups. So join a group, become a part of a group, lead a group, manifest a group. If you're like, yeah, I would join a group, but I just don't know what to do and I feel stuck. Maybe make that what you manifest. But visualize, get clear on your intention. Think about the way you want it to be. Take your attention completely off this draining situation and start focusing on what you do want, the solution that you do want, the group that you want to be a part of, what role you want to play in it, whether it's a business, a service group, a local charity, some freelance project you're doing with your friends. How can they be of service? Get out of your head. Get out of your head. Get out of your head and get involved. And also get in the sunlight. You need to be in the sunlight for boosting your mood and having more energy. Don't compete. Cooperate. Find other people who can do the parts of it that you don't like to do. But what I'm getting here is just this, all of this top row seems like stuff that you've dealt with in the past, or are going through this draining of energy, but it hasn't quite died yet you need a tower moment, or this has already happened. And the more you can kind of cut ties with anyone who broods or is draining, or if you're the one brooding, and focus on your manifestation power. Because we have to be happy and in a good mood in order to really manifest. And then when we manifest things, we have more to give to others. And also, it's not about just like receiving. It depends on other people. There's like a whole symphony of coordination of actions. So keep that in mind. And don't sleep in. And if your mind starts churning, don't do that. Don't lay in bed and let your mind start churning. You're not serving anybody by doing that. You're serving people by being the magician and by getting out there. And I'm also seeing commerce, like getting out there, offering your services, sharing the skill that you have that maybe these other people don't have. Maybe these other two people don't have a ladder. And maybe you have a ladder or some tool or some resource. So that other people don't have. Yeah, that's what's coming through. Like maybe you have a skill, a tool, a resource that an organization could need. But this is about mixing it up with people. And you really got to stay out of your head. Okay, let's see. Any more messages? What I'm hearing with this 10 of Cups is long term. You need to think in the long term. What's in the best interest of the long term? Legacy. What's the best choice for the most people for the longest period of time? Also, you may need to start showing up more for your family or a family, if you're like a nanny or something like that. But an emphasis of family, of legacy, maybe how you can be of services to be generous towards your family. Something's coming through for somebody very specific. Don't get attached to a picture-perfect family. And whether or not you fit into that mold or your children fit into that mold or anything like that. One of the best things that you can do to be of service is to be your own unique self. Walk away from this traditional picture of perfection and be your own person. And then you have true wealth, not just something. And then, but also, this could also very much be interpreted as if something that you really want, that you feel like would help you and support you in being of service to a greater community and to your family, is to have this happy, healthy, wholesome family. Manifest it. You have everything you need. If you need to, consult somebody who's done it. Watch YouTube videos, take a course, do something, invest, and manifest it and bring it into being. Also, if something's coming through, tithing. So you may be feeling like, I don't have enough to tithe. It's amazing because when you do, the universe will show you, oh yeah, you do have enough. And you say more by the things that you do, and money really talks than anything else. So think about using some of that money from your family, if you receive some sort of inheritance or if you receive some lump sum of money, tithe it. But also tithe your income, and then you're going to have more money for your family. So a lot of messages came through this one, and I hope that they resonate for you. But yeah, regardless of whatever your situation is, you need to get rid of brooding people. Don't lay in bed and overanalyze things. Also, what I'm getting is too much self-reflection. Too much ruminating on, did I do it right? Too much remembering, too much thinking. Altogether, not so good for you. Get out, participate, be in commerce, bring your special tool, skill, resource that the other people don't have, and that will make a really, really big difference. Any other messages that just want to come through for those who picked piece number 3, how to be of service? Come here, piece number 3. Okay. So just this one last thing. What I'm getting is that maybe you've resisted tower moments or difficult conversations because you've been left out in the cold before, or people have been harsh with you, and that's been difficult. But what I'm getting to be of service is that sometimes you have to focus on what's important and release people, as painful as it is. Like, what I'm just getting from this card is the Emperor. So you're going to have to make decisions and be clear in what you choose to do. Own your yes, own your no. He's not paying much attention to her. And sometimes I see this card in different ways, but sometimes you're just going to have to ice some people out. And that's uncomfortable, to make way for like new friendships and new relationships. And another thing that I'm getting is you may have felt defeated by some of these past circumstances and events and the way that they didn't quite work out. But it's still kind of hanging on there. And you still need some closing out to do. And you might feel like tired and stuff like that. You're going to need to summon your energy. And you're going to need to summon your strength to turn your back on things and people that just don't serve you. And sometimes that comes off as cold. But you're being invited to be the Emperor, to make a decision and be clear in it. And not be this insecure girl kind of holding her wrist, but being a clear Emperor and being very decisive. And this allows you to have actual material to give. Because another thing that's coming through is that sometimes we can give to the wrong people or the wrong circumstances, and it's just not productive. And it's really important to be clear-headed and maybe not always the most warm and fuzzy person, you know? Or somebody might not interpret you that way when you need to make real clear decisions and have the resources. It's okay to say no sometimes. And sometimes people don't like that. And that's what's really coming through for this. So I hope that was helpful. And thank you so much. Hello, everyone. So for those of you who picked pile number 4, this is your reading. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified as I release new content. Also, if you found this to be helpful, be sure to check out my Oracle coaching. You may like that. You might find that to be helpful. It's where we use the cards as a visual language to really tune into whatever's going on in your life, and then hear the Spirit's message, but then also follow through and get that encouragement and support to where you can actually take action, because that's where we really see change. So, jumping into your reading, how you can be more of service to yourself, the world. We're going to be looking at this in a couple different ways. Okay, what's coming? That didn't flip, so I only take flippers. And we got the Lovers. And so, let me get that. So, both of these things are coming out. if you're going to really be of service, you need to focus on something that you're truly passionate about, so that you have the energy to sustain you mentally, physically, emotionally, and even financially over a period of time. And it will be fruitful, and you'll be able to maintain, what I'm hearing is maintain your energy if you're truly, truly, truly passionate about it. And also, something that's standing out about this particular card is that this person standing in the middle is looking at these people. So what I'm getting is perhaps there's like a model, or there's an example that you can look at that will help you identify how to get this done in the easiest, most effective, and most efficient way possible. And that's important too. Yes, you want to be of service and you want to be passionate about it, but you also want to be wise and smart with your resources, your time, your energy, in order to see the most growth from it up here. Okay, let me use a different. What do they need to know about how to be more of service in their life right now? So it says, remain vigilant about the current situation and pay attention to the signs and omens and let them dictate your choices. What I'm getting around this too is, regardless of what it is, it's really important that you fully are present as you do it. This is going to raise your energy and give you the energy to do everything, but this is going to give you a keen eye for what is or what isn't a good investment. Also, being vigilant about the situation, I'm getting really pay attention to your gut feelings, what really lights you up. You're going to feel it on a visceral level, and that's how you'll know. And in this service position, it's important that, again, it's coming out that you need to trust your intuition. For some reason, Spirit, can I get a little bit more information on this paying attention to the signs and omens and letting them dictate your choices? Also, trusting your instincts are important to you being of service. Also, what's coming through too is, as you're of service, you're going to be very attractive to people, potentially people of the opposite sex. So keep that in mind. But Spirit is definitely saying, let yourself stand out and be noticed. Disconnect from any kind of conflict or negative energy that leaves you feeling bad about yourself. Don't waste any time or energy around that, because what I'm getting is you do have opportunities around you to be of service that you are passionate about, that are good for the long term, are smart long-term investments, but you still may have some like pesky conflict or some people jealous of you as you step into service, and some people, maybe there might even be some people who question your motives or your intention. Pay no mind to the haters. But also, because you're going to be letting yourself stand out and be noticed. And if you do that, you're going to get attention from different places. And that's just a part of it. But don't go into fear or negativity. Just be vigilant and pay attention to these signs. Don't write them off. Don't abandon yourself. If you've got somebody who's bringing drama, conflict, and negativity into your space, or is in any way not happy for you and showing you the evil eye, you got to let them go. Yeah, I got this upright. Make sure your friends are friends, not frenemies. Like, you want a sure tell sign to intuitively know if this is right for you is, do they like to see you happy? Are they encouraging? Are they happy for you when you're succeeding? Are they adding to this feeling of confidence and power and support? And this also may relate, I'm just seeing this for a few of you, to how you can be of service is actually in your romantic relationship by stepping up, being a boss, making smart, long-term decisions. If this is something that you and your partner, your business partner, your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, anybody is constantly telling you that there's like a problem, be aware of that. But be vigilant about the signs. Pay attention to your intuition. And make good long-term choices for everyone involved. But somehow that's going to also involve that you stand out and you allow yourself to be seen. I'm just seeing that for a few of you, the place where you need to be of service is really stepping up in your family. But trust your intuition to know if that's what this is about. And like you stepping out and being a leader and speaking up and also making decisions somewhere. Maybe you need to ask for a raise or talk to that contractor or discuss something at your kid's school or something, and it's related to your family or less family, but more like a love relationship and your partner's needs. And that's how you can be more of service. Feel that out. Tell me if you're feeling that. And I guess something I've never noticed about this is that there are like two things going into this one cup here. Maybe making some more time and energy available to your relationship or to this partnership is also contributing, because a lot of energy is going into just this one cup. Maybe diversify your investments, diversify what you guys do together. If you're being called to like show up differently. But what I'm getting is back to the people who you need to feel a sense of passion in your purpose, so it will be good for the long haul. You need to let go of conflict. But you need to be aware of how and where that conflict is negatively impacting you, and trust your intuition. If you have somebody who's like, oh, you're just being sensitive, that's not true, whatever, like, don't abandon yourself, don't ignore that. And have friends that want to walk beside you, confident and tall and in their own, or even your partner too, if they're just, and this isn't about not being compassionate. We all have all the emotions. We all experience them, so if maybe they're just feeling a little insecure, it's about surrounding yourself with people who let you stand and shine, and they shine and stand in their own right. Because you're definitely being called to like step out, be seen, do what's going to be good for the long term. The King of Cups or coins is also surrounded by lions, which also speak about like being proud and seen. Spirit, what energies would you like to come through about how they can be more of service? Be more of service. So yeah, back to that passion. You'll know that it gives you passion and that you really enjoy it and that you're passionate about it because it fills you with energy. In some decks, like it's a weary person, exhausted, and like holding up a stick. In this one, she's got it all covered. And so whatever makes you feel like is invigorating, that builds into your energy, that you're naturally drawn towards, that you naturally feel compelled towards, is so, so, so important. Maybe for some of you too, I'm getting like performing or speaking or just in some way presenting yourself, advocating. Spirit. Not this deck? Okay, this deck. How can pile 4 be more of service? Be of service in their life. To themselves, their friends, their family. Okay. Yeah, so, pulled a couple different cards. I'm not going to bother trying to go and get that. But despite any conflicts or setbacks or disappointments, I mean, in some situations, you've just had to make a decision to cut your losses and walk away. But it's time to move. You got to move into this service fearlessly, confidently, and raise your standards, because you're actually very quite capable, and you need to believe in yourself. Because this passion is going to make you very attractive, and it's going to bring in the resources and the things that you love and that you need. But also over there, there's a card that flipped out upright, and it says environmental awareness. So if there's conflict, you need to get away from it. And if you're getting signs and intuitive omens about it, don't ignore those. And only surround yourself around people who allow you to be your happiest, most confident, most vibrant self. Surround yourself with people where it's better, and you may need to also diversify your energy so that it's not just going towards one cup, especially if it's going towards the cup of a friend or a family member or a lover or a business partner that's just struggling to see you shine. You want to be around people who are shining in their own right. Okay, let's pull the Goddess card. Yeah, let's do that. How can they be more of service? Spirit. Oh, I've got so many cards. So maybe if any kind of conflict or negativity just in your environment has left you kind of feeling bad about yourself, it's important to be gentle with yourself. And I'm getting really nurture yourself. So what does that mean? It means sleep. It means caring for yourself the way you would a child or a beloved pet. And to know, what I'm getting is that you are cherished by a loving universe. And think about the people in your life that cherish you. What I'm getting is like really feel the feelings of being cherished, of being valued, of being appreciated. Really flood your field with that sensation, with that experience. And hold that in your body is going to be really important. That's going to protect you from like the cold, from the storm. If you feel like you've been left out in the cold or criticized and there's just been conflict, that will bring you a sense of warmth, is by generating that feeling and holding it. And then enlightenment. You're going to really find that through the spiritual powers that are all around you, that are guiding you, that are giving you these signs that you need to remain vigilant about, that are helping you trust your intuition, that are giving you the courage to move forward, you're going to be able to accomplish whatever it is much easier. And you're going to realize that you have this flame within you that can never die, and that because I'm seeing this card like hold this flame that can never die, and that's always within you. And you've really got to like stoke that flame of passion and energy. And when you do, it's going to fill you up. It's going to light you up. It's going to give you the momentum. So on whatever it is that you're passionate about, that you feel that visceral, like, I love doing this, that's the area where you show up and be of service. And let yourself be seen. Let go of any unhealthy relationships. Don't ignore the red flags. Get yourself in a positive environment around positive people. And I hope you enjoyed your reading. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe.